What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival. My name is JJ, and I'm not a huge racing game fan, but damn, play Forza Horizon. So anyone who has watched my channel for any amount of time knows that I rarely talk about racing games at all. I just don't really have a ton of them that I've really ever gotten into. I've mentioned a few times about how I used to play Gran Turismo on PS2 with a friend of mine, where I would bring my PS2 over to his house, and then we would just like set up our PS2s in his basement, and there would be like 2 or 3 of us playing down there on our own TVs and stuff, and it was a blast. And a lot of that was, the game was great, don't get me wrong, but it was, you know, it was just hanging out with your buddies and you know, talking about which cars you got, what races you were doing. You made the really long ones, like the 100 lap plus races, not feel as crazy because you've got people to talk to while you're playing and everything, which is really nice. But other than that, I really don't talk much about racing games. And the reason for that is I just frankly don't have a lot of experience with them. I just don't play very many. I like the story-focused gaming. I like to play RPGs and stuff with party members that I can get to know and all this stuff. That being said, so I'm recording this a week before Forza Horizon 5 comes out for early access, which is the 5th is when it comes out of November. Of 2021, in case you're watching this in the future. And then it comes out on the 9th officially, I think, for everybody else. I never really, anytime I saw an Xbox presentation, there was always Forza there. I always just assumed Forza was Forza, and it was just another, you know, it was Xbox's version of Gran Turismo, and that was that. The regular Forza games, I will still admit that I have not, delved into and tried. But the Forza Horizon games, I have been a diehard fan since 3. And there's a reason for that, and that's because the games are just that damn good. The reason I'm making this video is to try and tell people, anybody who looks at that and just says oh, it's a racing game, not a fan. Because I know so many people that have that attitude and that mindset, and as soon as I try talking Forza Horizon with them, they automatically just hear racing game and they're out. They're done. And it's such a mistake to do that. Literally open world racing. So what do I mean by that? I mean, it's exactly the way it sounds. If I were to tell you Skyrim is an open world game where you can go anywhere and you don't have to necessarily go on a specific path or anything like that, that's what Forza Horizon is. Like I said, I started with 3, and when I first played it, somebody had just mentioned it to me like that it was an open world racing game, and I thought that sounded kind of interesting. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, and I waited till it was heavily discounted, picked it up on a whim, and I tried it out, and I was like, holy crap. You're driving around, and you're racing, obviously, there are races to do, but you don't have to. There are challenges you can do. They've evolved the game so much since 3. 4 was a massive upgrade. But in 3, you're driving around, you're doing challenges, you're racing, you're just exploring the scenery, the landscape of just in these, if you're a car guy, which I'm not, it's even cooler because you've got these cars that more than likely you're never going to be able to afford in real life. So it's just really, really cool the amount of exploration and depth that a racing game has that isn't really attributed to the racing aspect itself, if that makes sense. It's really, really more of an adventure, quite frankly. And then when Forza Horizon 3 came out with their first expansion, I think it was their first one. It may have been, I don't know if it had 2, I can't remember, to be honest with you. Diehard fan. Yeah, I realize. But I remember the one that stuck out with me was the Hot Wheels one, because you're literally racing on huge Hot Wheels tracks with loops and different branching paths and all this stuff. And yes, it's still open world, so you can absolutely turn around, you can freaking go other places. You don't have to be racing while you're on these tracks. You can do whatever the heck you want. I really, really am just trying to pin down that you're not stuck on a racetrack the entire game, which I think is kind of where people lose racing games that aren't fans of those. I really just want to drive home that, like, no, you have freedom in these games. You have absolute freedom. It's incredible. When I say absolute freedom, you're not like running over people and, you know, blowing up stuff and that kind of thing. But I mean, as far as a racing game goes and exploring a massive world, I mean, these worlds are huge. In just, you know, cars and stuff like that, and unlocking things and customizing your avatar. There are little storylines along the way. There's, you know, Forza Horizon 4 came out, and I was already, you know, I knew I was going to get it because I loved 3 so much. So I got 4, and then you're freaking, you know, racing planes and trains, and, like, it's just, man, it's just so cool. The amount of, like, wow, like how many times I did that. My jaw has dropped so many times while playing these games. And then Forza Horizon 4, when it came out with its 2 expansions, I dug into Forza Horizon 4 way more than I did 3, and I think that's mainly because I started it when it first came out. 3 I didn't get into until towards the end of its life cycle. And 4 I was hooked from day one, bought it new, and I was all in. And then they had the Treasure Island expansion. I don't remember if that's what it was called specifically, but Fortune Island, that's what it was called. Where you're literally like, you're driving around and you're finding like clues to treasure that's hidden around the map. So you have to like go around, you find a clue, and then it like gives you like, you know, a word clue that you have to read through and try to figure out where on the map you need to go to. And sometimes there might be a trick involved that you have to do to find it, or a special place on the map you have to go to. And it's so cool. And then they came out with a Lego expansion for it, where the whole freaking map is just Legos, and you're building your own Lego house. I will say, part of me was disappointed that you couldn't like build your own custom Lego house. Like, it's literally like, you've unlocked this addition to your house. And so everybody's house looks the same. But that's such a minor nitpick, it really doesn't matter. It's still cool to look at, and the way that they did the landscape and the Lego world itself is just bonkers. It's so cool. And I'm going to have gameplay running for Forza Horizon 5 and stuff while this is going on, so you can kind of see, just at least, I'm talking about Legos right now, but you can at least see like what I'm talking about as far as the open worldness and stuff like that. You do not have to stick to the roads. You do not have to just race the entire time. You can do there's storylines that you can do where you go and one of them was, you had to be like a stunt car driver, I think, and you had to basically like do the stunts for some people that were making a movie, and they needed you to execute it, you know, as well as you could. That way they had it good enough for the movie that they were making, and you know, whatnot. And they have storylines that accompany those and go forward, and those are just little tiny pieces of the game. The Forza Horizon games are legitimately like racing games for people for racing fans, obviously, but also for people who may not be racing fans, like myself. Not that I like hate the games or anything, but I just, it's a genre that I typically just am not drawn to. But if I hear Forza Horizon, I'm like, huh? So this one, I've already like pre-ordered the big, you know, digital special edition thing where I get the early access, 2 expansions are included and everything. I don't do Game Pass, and I've explained why on the show before. Just a personal choice, because I don't play enough new games when they come out that I just can't justify it for myself, because typically when I get to new games, for the most part, it'll be like a year or 2 down the road, if not more. Just because I work through my backlog, I try to get my retro stuff done. I want to finish all those first. And so with Game Pass, you don't keep those games forever. They're only there for a set amount of time, and so I just worry that I'm going to have it, and then I'll miss out on, you know, a game that I wanted to play, because by the time I get to it, it's not on the list anymore, if that makes sense. But I think it's a fantastic deal, don't get me wrong. And Forza Horizon 5 is included on there. So you absolutely, if you have it, try it out. Because I know most of you have Game Pass that watch this. And PC gamers, I'm pretty sure it's coming to PC as well. So seriously, anybody that I have had actually try the games has really enjoyed them. It's just all about giving it a shot. And I think now with Game Pass, it is the perfect opportunity for people to give the Forza Horizon series a shot. And I'm not going to say guarantee, because it's a stupid thing to say, but I would be willing to bet that once you try 5, and you see like what they've done. I haven't even played it already. I'm just going off of like, because I've watched all the videos, I've watched all the releases that they've done, the teasers and everything like that, and it just looks like an amped up version of 4, which 4 was just an amped up version of 3. They just keep getting better and better. And so man, I would put money that you're going to play it and you're going to be like, oh my god, like, I wonder if I can get my hands on 4 now. And then go back and try the other, because like, seriously, I mean, you may not have the time because there's going to be so much to do in this one. But I'm telling you, like, if the game sucks, I will make another video and I will come back and be like, guys, I'm sorry. I misled you and this is a horrible representation of what Forza Horizon is and you should just trust me, go play 4 and 3. But again, I'd be willing to bet money that I'm not going to do that. I have no doubt that I'm going to absolutely love the game as I have loved the other 2 that I've played. I've not played 1 or 2, so I can't really attest to them, but starting with 3 and then diving headfirst into 4, just got me so pumped for this. I am, you know, I'm looking at this and thinking it already might be, you know, my game of the year. And I know that's a stupid thing to say when I haven't played it, but damn it, these games are so good, you guys. Seriously, I cannot stress enough. Just try it. Like I said, most of you have Game Pass. It's going to be on there. Check it out. Just give it a shot. Play it for, you know, an hour or 2. If you don't like it, whatever. And also, if you do get it and if you start playing or something like that, hit me up. Let me know. I got no problem giving out my my Xbox screen name to people. I love playing games with those people. I've got, you know, 2 or 3 people that I know so far that are going to be getting it that I'll be playing with. And I love doing co-op races and just you literally driving around the map with your friends if you want to do that too. And just being in a party and talking while you're racing and doing challenges and stuff. It's just so cool. So by all means, just let me know. I'd love to add you and have somebody else that I can see. Not to mention, even if they're not online, you can sometimes, like if you do a race that they've already done, you can then sometimes see their car. And I don't, you may not even be a race that they've done. You may just see like people on your friends list show up as like NPCs in races that you're doing. And so you're like, oh, you jerk, I'm in a freaking, and then, you know, I would literally like text my friends and be like, dude, Kyle, your car just beat me in this race by like 2 seconds. It's bullcrap and stuff. And then he texts back, yeah, totally, you know, it's so much fun. And I'm totally rambling, and I get that. But seriously, guys, try it out. Forza Horizon 5, it's coming next week. Man, I'm so excited, if you can't tell. Please, by all means, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. If you've played 3 and 4, tell me down in the comments below, because I absolutely love the series. Can't wait to see where it goes, what the expansions are when I haven't even played the base game. But I have no doubt that I'm going to love it. And if you try it, you give it a chance, I have no doubt that you're gonna appreciate what's there too. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You know the drill. And as always, keep on gaming.